Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, binary friends, and welcome to this, another brand new day. I have a hamster in my hand. He's been really active this morning, and so his anti-camera gyroscope is active, but he is a sweetheart, and I wanted to show him to everybody because he's still running around. Yay! He has really torn things up inside of his little home here. I'm going to put him back in. Here we go, little guy. Don't freak out too much. I know it's a tight fit. There we go. He's a good guy. It's hard to get my hand in there. I need to fully twist, and I can't if I'm going to be doing this. So he didn't get hurt. He didn't fall. He just jumped like this far onto the bedding. So he's okay. But boy, he has been active this morning. I had to dig through his Reptisand thing and get all the bedding out and give him more because he keeps knocking it out and spraying it everywhere. So he enjoys it, so it's a good thing. He was running around earlier with one of his little wooden chew toys in his mouth, and it was so cute. It was just absolutely adorable. So thumbs up on that. It is a very good thing, and I just wanted to show him off again because he's a cutie, and I love rodents. I love hamsters. It's a very, very good thing. Other rodents are nice. They don't really just melt my heart like hamsters do. I enjoy rats. I think they're cool, and I'd love to have some rats. Mice look really cool. I'd like to have some mice. We'll have to see what happens in the future. Thumbs up on that. But good morning and welcome to the day, a brand new day. It was raining last night, but it's not raining now. It's dark and gray, so thumbs up on that. And if you hear thumping and bumping around, my housemates are up. They have to make a trip this morning, so they're active, and so, they live here. It's just if you happen to hear it, that's what's going on. It's not like a bomb or anything. It's just people getting ready. Thumbs up for that. There has not been a whole lot happening since yesterday. I had therapy, of course. Every Thursday is my therapy day. We talk about this, that, and the other because that's what therapy is. You drag stuff up and you talk about it. You try to squeeze the pus out of old wounds so that things can heal. And that's a good thing. Talked about a lot of stuff, like I've mentioned how we're in survival mode, and you cannot fix your house while the storm is raging. You can do minor maintenance to try and make sure you're not going to get hurt and bolster up stuff that's broken, but you don't want to go out and start putting the shingles back on the roof while the shingles are being torn off in the wind. You don't want to be putting new glass in the windows while the old glass is still being knocked out by stuff flying around. You're in survival mode. You gotta wait until all the damage is done being done before you can start doing the major work. So that's important to remember. And I was talking with them how, the feelings that are going on right now, how it took time, but finally I'm feeling the pressure like everyone else from the pandemic and more. But it's not a complete collapse of everything. I've mentioned before how it feels like one of those comedy sketches where the person just, this thing's stable as a rock, smacks something, and then the cascade of the domino effect, and by the time it's done, everything is destroyed and broken. That may be what it feels like, but it's not. It's just the storm, and once the storm is over, survival mode, and that's a good thing. And included in survival mode, of course, is taking care of hamsters and taking care of kitties, because my kitty is over in the window right now. It being, leading up into spring here, she likes to, and I always have the window open, so she likes to sit on the windowsill and keep her head right where the window is open so she can smell the world and watch things as they go by. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Oh, as a real quick thing, I just found out that there is a message section on the Patreon page, and people have been sending me messages for a very long time. I have not been ignoring people. My executive dysfunction and inability to concentrate makes it very difficult to find things out, and I don't spend a lot of time on the Patreon page. But now that I have, I'm going to be, and found that out, I'm going to be trying my best to go through and answer all these old messages. Some of them not so old, some of them probably years old. So I've never ignored anybody. I was just sleepwalking, and I've woke up enough that I can discover this. I have spent most of my life sleepwalking under my depression and more. I am more awake now at 58 than I have been through at any point in my life. I mean, I've done more and I've done things at earlier times, but with my depression and everything that was piled on with that, I was sleepwalking through my life. I've sleptwalked through most of it. I don't remember so much. It'd be nice if we could rerun the parts that we don't remember, or we get to redo things, or we get rewarded with more, but nope, just a small amount. And a ton of it is just run through my fingers with no memories left at all. Thumbs up for that. Also, on the side, actually, that was almost everything that I've got written down on my topics list, because, yeah, there's just been not a ton happening. But, I mean, things. Like when I went walkies last night, I thought it was amusing, and I had to laugh at myself because I made a huge major detour because the main road that I was trying to cross was really busy. But I had to make a huge detour of blocks and blocks before I could finally cross that street and then come back just so I could walk on the railroad tracks. It's such a silly thing to do. It's only like 2-3 blocks of old tracks. Why the big thing about walking on them? But even though it's dangerous in the dark, because you never know if the ground between the ties is right level or a 6-inch drop, and the ties are all at random spaces from each other, you know, so you can get halfway over in between two of them, and then the next one your foot flops in between without touching either. So it's fun, it's dangerous, but that's good. It's not good, but it is something that I enjoy doing. So in the cold and the wet and the rain last night, I went and walked on the track, so it's a good thing. Past that, like I was saying, not much. I've been trying to think of all sorts of things to do with my various stories. I've mentioned before the one that I'm working on in my head with the cosmic horror thing where there's the bone juice hurting world. And I don't know what else to call it. I need to come up with a name of some sort, I imagine. Where the second story that I talked about some bit ago, where it would be great as like a game, I'm kind of stuck on that one. It took me a while. It took me a while to figure out how and why the entire world wouldn't have been consumed by this fungusy thing until it was like, okay, it was north enough and Arctic enough with the jet streams on this world and the currents of the water that just happens to be serendipitous enough to drag most of the spores up and drop them onto the ice, that the stuff out in the water, it tries to expend itself outward, but it's very nutritious, and so more things eat it than it can eat of others. So I finally got that part working out. And then this crystalline this crystalline lattice work of like a metal that's left behind as a deposit, which is why the entire northern continent hasn't just collapsed inward. So it is a waste product, totally useless to the fungus, but it's holding the continent inwards that the planet doesn't die. So that's good. Problem is, excuse me. Problem is now, yeah, the fungus has hit the southern continent. The fungus is attacking and has destroyed most of the civilization of these one type of peoples. They have a line of death, luckily, that across that part of the continent. Luckily, because it's at the tip, it's not having to, not the, the actual tip, but up against the northern part of it, the line doesn't have to go across like an entire continent, but the invasion hit here, it's just like this, the line of death, where there's these fungus creatures on the southern continent that are symbiotic instead of parasitic, are working to try and capture and make sure and filter the air and stuff to make sure that stuff is stuck at the line of death. But before I get lost too much in details, point being, in the time that it has been, given the growth rates of anything, this fungus invasion should be at the line of death, having taken over and devoured everything. It should be there. With the amount of time and how quickly this stuff can grow, it should be a constant fight at the line of death. And everyone is concerned and worried and confused because it's not. And all the time since this has all started and people have become aware of it, it has made very, very small inroads. And you can even travel almost to the complete northern invasion point before all other life is gone and it's just fungus there. You start moving back down and even to the city, which was one of the first things to fall a long time ago when the invasion first started, is only at maximum like a third overtaken. And it should be at and crowded to the line of death, but it's not. So it stopped somehow, because otherwise there's no story. So it stopped somehow. I just have, oh, good Lord. I just have to figure out that way and what and why. It's not a minor thing either. I feel that this is a very strong, big point. Thumbs up for that. We'll see what happens. So you see, even I am trying to be creative. I'm just creative about stuff that, unless I can get medicated for ADHD and all, I'll never be able to do anything with. But my appointment to talk to a med manager is on Monday. I smoked a pre-roll this morning, and now that, along with my talking, just is destroying my voice box. My sincere apologies. I also can hear myself hissing around my dentures because they don't fit at all anymore, so my sincere apologies there as well. So, because my throat is really sore and getting sorer the more I talk, I have opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. And I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language because of my depression, fibro, and more, I have such memory problems. We'll see how well I do. We have Eleanor Gallagher, thumbs up and thank you. Starla Harper, thumbs up. Confused Owl 29, it's just nice that people check in. Thank you very, very much. Lily Eller, greatly appreciated. Triple X Flame Hand, thumbs up and thank you. Territory, thumbs up. There's Rick Astley, greatly appreciated. Which, you know, usernames. Denise Smirnoff, thumbs up and thank you. Russian Timing, thumbs up and thank you. Denaya, thumbs up. Ubwe, WTF, thank you. Lure Clips, thumbs up. Hiroshima Graves, greatly appreciated. Cortez TTD, thumbs up. We have Toasty ZZX, greatly appreciated. Mia Duffy, thumbs up and thank you. Wid 800, and then I cannot tell what the symbol is, but thank you very much. Ziania R. Rodriguez, thumbs up and thank you. Ricky Bettini with the daily reminder to live life to its fullest. We have The Whiskey, thumbs up and thank you. Christopher Thomas, greatly appreciated. Eduardo Reyes Lopez, thumbs up. We have Bullcrap TV. Hey, it's been a while since I've seen you. Good to see you. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. And last but not least, Sarge778 returns. Thumbs up and thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only in text, and that's very, if only in text, and that is greatly appreciated. A definite thumbs up. So, if you could check out my various things down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And again, my sincere apologies to everybody who left me a message and I never realized you had. I am so sorry. I'm going to be trying to answer them all. If you'd like to help me out without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, I have an Amazon wish list link with things like hamster food, cat food, hamster bedding, silly things, not silly things. If you could check it out, that would be awesome. Do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very, very cool indeed. A definite thumbs up. Thumbs up. Ugh. If the stimulus thing ever comes through, I can afford to get these fixed, and that'll be good. And the horse head of encouragement has nothing but encouragement and love for each and every one of us. We are a beautiful and wonderful species, and it wishes to encourage each and every one of us to be the best we possibly can. A definite thumbs up for that. And of course, Black Lives Matter. And during these hard times, try to be as safe and creative as you possibly can. It is important. Definitely a thumbs up. So, unless you have to go out, please don't go out. But if you have to, wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, maintain your social distancing. It's, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is a very good thing.